to slow him down one bit. I mean, this guy is still hungry for the wins. You know, he wants to be winning as many matches as he possibly can and trying to win all these tournaments at the same time. And Darkwonyx, you know, coming from a chess background, I certainly think that he has a little bit more of a relaxed play style when it comes to Hearthstone. Certainly one of the stronger players out there, but you know, I think that more often than not that he's going to be kind of favoring the I'm trying to have fun and I'm trying to put together decks that do crazy things and still win at the same time. So always a treat to see him play. But you know, right from the get-go, I gotta favor RDU.
Hello.
Yeah, certainly, I would agree. And the bans off the bat, Darkwonyx banned out the Warrior, and RDU banned out the Warlock. That does leave RDU with Mage, Warlock, and Paladin, and Darkwonyx with Paladin, Druid, and Mage. So pretty similar stuff. And, you know, how do you feel about bans right now in this meta? Do you feel like it should be, you know, the Warrior should be the Warlock? You know, do you think a lot of it just depends on what they're playing? I mean, RDU banning out the Warlock, and he's playing a Mage. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, you know, it's actually dark. God, it's tough to say one way or the other. You know, I would expect his Mage to be, you know, more oriented toward like this mech Mage, but you know, he's played a lot of Freeze Mage in the past.
It's also interesting, though, to point out before. Sorry, just to interrupt you, but because Darkwonyx isn't playing Warrior, so that could also really be something that he's taking into consideration there when he's actually not banning that out. When he is, yeah.
I definitely think so. And, you know, what I'm curious about is when RDU bans this Warlock, is he thinking that maybe it's that Darkwonyx is playing this sort of crazy Warlock build that he's played in the past? And this Leopard Gnome's, this Clockwork Gnome definitely going to be getting ignored and hoping that the Voidwalker can deal with this board position. 5 power, you know, on the board with this Undertaker was not a fantastic start from Darkwonyx. And I'm curious if he's going to want to risk this Blast Mage right now. I mean, you got to think this 5/4 body is really going to help things out. But man, if it juggles that egg twice, that was the worst.
God.
That has to be one of the worst possible scenarios he could have hoped for. Was it hitting the egg twice and not hitting the Voidwalker and not killing the Flame Imp if it hits it once?
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh my God, this is just disaster now for Darkwonyx. And this Blast Mage is going to be dealt with straight away. And RDU is going to have a huge board position with 2 Undertakers, Harvest Golem. He's got 2 1-health minions down. You know, Hero Power really kind of like tempoing Darkwonyx out of this game if he chooses to use it. Cogmaster's not going to help him out.
Yeah, and this Mage deck is something that I've played a lot. And honestly, like, you don't have the huge comeback mechanics. I mean, there's not usually. I mean, it's possible it does have a Flame Strike in there, but most people don't play it. And I just feel like this is almost game over. I mean, it's like you have to fight for the board, and he's in such a brutal spot.
Goblin Blast Mage is the way that you fight for the board, and it just backfired on this game.
Completely.
It wasn't like a huge spot to be in anyway. I mean, I think he was just trying to deal damage to the Voidwalker so he can trade his Clockwork, but he did. You know, that didn't happen for him. And his Blast Mage basically just killed itself.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, thing is, he would have been in a rough spot anyway. But the point is just, you know, it's like his early game was so slow. It's like you're not. Zoo is really hard for Mech Mage because you don't really have the big spells to fight for it. And it's like they have the additional draws, they have the life tap and everything to make sure they're drawing always into minions that they can play. And we'll see. I mean, this is definitely important. He's definitely going to want to, for starters, hit that Voidwalker with the Blast Mage. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it. Nope.
I'm surprised he even got that decent of a roll to kill anything.
Yeah.
You know, straight away was you know, pretty fortunate, but it's just, I think it's just a story of too much board pressure on this side of the board. You know, he's going to be able to take out these Undertakers, but he's facing down 6 points of pressure afterwards.
Yeah, and definitely a frightening circumstance. We'll see what the draw is in. And, I mean, with that coming out, I think he's just going to take out that Blast Mage, yeah.
I don't think so. I think he's going to go
I think he's going all face.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got... Wow, I'm so surprised by that. He's already got his opponent so low. I'm so surprised that he's chosen to play this way. So this
I don't mind it.
This Void Terror is going to soak up these two 1-health minions, but you know, something like Fireball Frostbolt could really recover this game for him. So, you know, really looking for one of these burn spells right now. This is an important draw for Darkwonyx. Gets a Snow Chugger instead, and he actually has no way to fend off this board position. And this is going to be game 1 to RDU just like that. Despite through 2 Goblin Blast Mages, just so much pressure coming out. He's just completely destroyed him.
Either. I mean, he didn't get taunts and he didn't get the rewinder. Sometimes, Blast Mage rewind, Blast Mage can be a good catch-up mechanic, but just didn't really draw into anything that would have helped him out. But we are going to be going into the next game already, and it's going to be Paladin here for Darkwonyx.
Yeah, something else we saw in that last match is he had Mana Worm in his hand, so he's got extra 1-drops to go along with stuff. And Mana Worm, when you couple it with something like Frostbolt, or maybe even the spare parts, that's a pretty strong early game minion you're looking at to help recover these board positions and really fight for it. But like you said, just not really in the cards for Darkwonyx that game. And that's what Zoo is meant to do. Is it's meant to punish early game draws that are staggered a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this should be an interesting one. Paladin definitely. I think it's fair to say that the Paladin is a better matchup against Zoo than Mech Mage is, but we'll see how it goes.
I like developing the Nerubian Egg straight away. He's got Abusive Sergeant and Direwolf Alpha, so multiple ways to deal with this. Darkwonyx has the egg straight away. I'm sorry, has the owl and the egg straight away.
Yeah, but it's still going to get value. I mean, you can just trade it in. You can just kill that owl off with it. So, it's not bad whatsoever. And that's one of the things that's so powerful about this card. And it's like, yeah, sure, you silence it up. That's the best answer that you can have, but it's still not great. I mean, you're trading in. It's a 1-for-1. It's an even trade, even in like the best circumstance that he could have had there.
I really like holding on the Abusive Sergeant here too. Muster for Battle and Consecrate, both things you got to be thinking about. If you have this Abusive Sergeant down, your opponent's almost certainly going to favor Muster for Battle in a position like this, should they have this option. And this board, I think, is enough to, at times, force a Consecrate. I mean, I'd really like to see True Silver Champion here, but if you True Silver Champions, he is going to take a few extra points of damage. But, regardless of which, I like the hold here from RDU on the Abusive Sergeant. I think it's something that's really important that a lot of players wouldn't have done.
Yeah, certainly. I don't know. I think that coin True Silver is pretty good here. Getting rid of that wolf, but I don't know. It's a tough call.
Yep. What he's doing in this position is he's saying that he's comfortable paying extra points of life to help get a better Consecrate turn, and at the same time, like, this is going to be a threat to your opponent's board, so they have to have something like Harvest Golem to start pushing through this position. And the other thing this does is it forces RDU to be aggressive with the board, because if he's not taking control of this, he's going to lose the game. So in a position like this, he's kind of forced to go for the face and really hope for the best. Still diligent in holding on to this Abusive Sergeant. And Darkwonyx, it's down to 15, but this is looking like he's going to scale into his later game and maybe be in a comfortable position. Yeah,
this will be interesting. So he is going to Consecrate, so does decide to go for it, and we'll be able to clear out this board, and he's going to be left with a token on the table as well. Sitting at 15 HP right now. Not the, oh wow, I was actually going to decide to pay the price. And to me, that's kind of just saying, I sure hope I draw Quartermaster.
Well, the extra tokens on the board are definitely helpful. It's going to threaten 2 health minions. Implosion gets picked up, and it's a roll 4 on the Implosion. And just like that, RDU has a big board yet again. And where do you go here if you're Darkwonyx now? I mean, you got to be worried about what's going to happen. I think it's just going to be a Sylvanas turn. No, he's going to Muster for Battle.
Yeah,
right. Wow, gosh, this is a tough one though. Okay, so when he does this, I think that he's looking at this Guardian of Kings next turn.
Yeah, certainly. I like this. I mean, it does develop your own board. It's certainly.
Shattered Sun Cleric gets drawn.
Wow.
I haven't seen this card in ages.
I've been hearing people talk about how they think it's better now in this meta and stuff because there's like a lot of like 2/3 minions and stuff like that, and it can kind of, I guess, like buff up your cards. So you can buff up your cards to get free trades off that, like, because there's so many 2-drops that are pretty powerful now and stuff.
Wow, Quartermaster gets drawn, but Darkwonyx is down to 5 points of health. I mean, he's got to be worried about something like Doomguard.
Yeah.
Is he thinking about power overwhelming though?
Wow, this is rough. I mean, he can clear the board.
He can clear the board, yeah, but you're dead to Doomguard, you're dead to Dark Bomb, you're dead to Soulfire. I mean, we saw Soulfire coming from Backspace's deck.
If he heals, then he can't clear the board. He's still just as dead to all those things.
I think he's got it. I mean, this looks like a turn to me where he's going to have to take a risk.
Yeah, I mean, it's the other way doesn't save you though. Is what I'm saying. Because I mean, what's the most that you can clear? So you take out the wolf, and then you can take out the wolf and one of the 3/2. So you can take 5 damage off the board. That still leaves five.
Oh yeah, you're still dead to
6.
Doomguard.
You're
Yep.
still dead to Doomguard. So it doesn't actually save you for anything. So to me, it's 100% Quartermaster.
Oh, you're right.
I must move quickly.
He's got to make a decision though.
Reporting for
Yeah, it's gonna be Quartermaster. I mean, this is playing for the win once again. If Doomguard doesn't come out, you survive. Then you get the full clear, and then you Guardian next turn. Then you have a chance to actually make something happen.
For sure. I mean, I think this is 100% the best play.
Yeah.
Darkwonyx
Now
needs to
it's-
fade Doomguard right now. RDU has 2 draws to get it. And he doesn't pick it up, and now this board position might be enough for Darkwonyx to recover. This juggle is still important.
Has to hit a 3/1. Definitely wants to at least. Oh, gets it. That's actually very important.
50-50 to clear one of those out, but now this is the recovery turn that Darkwonyx needed. He's even going to be able to sit behind Sludge Belcher after this.
Yeah, I think Sludge Belcher is better than Guardian for sure.
I don't know. I mean, you're still dead to Soulfire that way.
That's true.
Again, I don't know if it's something that you're actively thinking about, but it's
Soulfire
certainly...
is also super uncommon. I mean, I know we saw it earlier, but it seems like almost no one runs it anymore.
Darkwonyx has completely stifled the attack from RDU. He picks up Void Walker, which is not going to do anything in this position. He's got Knife Juggler and Void Caller. The juggle, I don't think matters, though. I think that Darkwonyx is just completely recovered from this board position. And once he's sat behind this Sludge Belcher, he's going to be 100% safe from anything RDU can throw at him. Lay on Hands gets drawn. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to really count out anyone in these games. We've made a couple of those mistakes already this tournament, but my gosh, I don't see the recovery potential here from RDU.
Lay on Hands is like the leave the game card. Like this is like the please leave. Like you lost.
Drop the mic.
I mean, I don't even think. Yeah, I don't even think the draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there it is. I mean, there was no way. As soon as you see that come out, you lost. I mean, you were living on a hope and a prayer at that point in the game anyway. Early-ish game, like kind of threats, but we'll see. He is going to go with the mage, and we will find out what kind of a deck he's running here pretty shortly. He may be running a mech mage of his own. Who knows? Didn't work out for Darkwonyx, but maybe it will for him. And it is going to be mech mage. And Cogmaster is so nice to have in your hand turn 1, especially if you can draw into the turn 2 mech warper. Oh man.
Yep, I was about to say, well, you need to have mechs to go along with it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it's going to be Dude Slayer versus Shielded Minibot, and I think he was hoping to really fade against the Shielded Minibot there. Picks up a second mech warper though, so pressure going to be applied early here, really favoring the aggression. But Shielded Minibot does such a good job at help fighting against these board positions.
Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, he can take out the Cogmaster, but still, we have a great Tinker turn now. You have a 4/4 down already, and you get the spare part as well. So
wow, he's got so many
fantastic.
options.
Yeah.
I imagine this is going to be mech warper ping. I think.
Yeah,
he's going to
that would be
protect
really
his.
strong as well.
I think he's going to protect his 2/1 mech warper.
Yeah, with that draw, I think. Yeah, certainly does make a lot of sense.
I don't mind seeing like Mana Worm here either. Honestly, I don't mind any of these plays. Like, it doesn't have to be Mech Warper here because he doesn't have another mech in his hand. So, developing one of these other guys is certainly a possibility. I don't mind seeing Cogmaster whatsoever. It gets extra damage on the board. Helps get the ball rolling.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, not really a great answer here. I mean, I wouldn't be actually surprised to see even BGH come down, but I mean,
I actually
yeah.
don't know the interaction with Aldor Peacekeeper and Cogmaster. I don't know if Cogmaster's buff is going to take place
it
after.
just goes back up.
It just goes back up.
Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything to those minions that are buffed up and stuff. I've found that out the hard way a few times with stuff like that. I was really sad, man. I was really sad.
Mad Scientist gets drawn, and I mean that means he is playing some sort of secret in this deck. I'm curious what that actually is. This is something I haven't seen added to Mech Mage yet.
How do you feel about him trading in, keeping the mech warper and trading that in? I mean, he doesn't have any mechs in hand. He's keeping a 1 HP minion down still. I don't know. I mean,
I think at the end of the day, the mech warper
doesn't really matter.
Investor.
Yeah.
I think it's probably worth a lot more. Like
Even though it's at 1 HP.
Yeah, I think if he draws like Piloted Shredder next turn, and the fact that we've already seen we're already seeing a little bit of unconventional stuff here. Like Mana Worm is a card that's been added to this deck pretty recently, and I think is going to be kind of a mainstay. But Mad Scientist is certainly not a card that we've seen a lot of in Mech Mage yet. So, protecting his Mech Warper so he could potentially develop like a secret and then Mad Scientist this turn, or like draw something like a mech and play the like a 5-costed mech or something. Like we don't know exactly what's in this list yet, so it's hard to make an assumption. In general, though, I would tend to favor keeping a Mech Warper over keeping a Cogmaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's obviously clear if they're both like same HP, but I just thought it was a bit harder choice because of the fact that we had it at 1 HP already. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Nice answer to the Lothab there for sure. You definitely don't want to be allowing it to be getting 5 damage hits in time and time again. If you didn't have that, I mean, that's really the only good answer that you have in the deck to deal with that on a Lothab turn this early, because there's not going to be an equality or anything like that coming out. And if you had to take 5 damage to the face from the True Silver and then it could attack in again for another 5 damage to the face, that could be pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's certainly not what you want to be dealing with. I think this is probably one of the best Alor Peacekeeper turns you can actually get against this deck.
Yep, certainly. I mean, especially like doing the turn 5 one right there. It means there's no other answer that you have.
Yeah, and your opponent's not getting your opponent's actually not getting any value from the battle cry on Lothab in this position either.
Mm-hmm.
Choosing to hold on to his True Silver Champion, that's
I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, I am too, but he's still got this board basically directly challenged by what's going on. So, favoring to hold it so you keep your options open. He doesn't have like another weapon next turn or anything. Like maybe he needs to, like in a position like this, maybe he can get a little bit of extra value that he wouldn't normally have gotten.
This is going to get a quality consecrated though. I think.
You think so? I think there's a chance he just leaves the Mana Worm alive. The equality's only effectively dealing like a couple points of damage. You're like, how threatening is the 1/4 right now?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like at this stage in the game, it's like if you wipe that board, the mage has it's like, how do you lose from here when the mage has no cards in his hand and you just wiped 5 minions with an equality consecrated?
We're gonna have to see. Mad Scientist does not activate Goblin Blast Mage, but I gotta believe this 5/4 is coming out this turn. Just getting the body down, I think, is worth more than holding it for the battle cry. You're going to get more damage if this gets in one attack than if you hold on to it. So I definitely think that this is the play you need to make. Darkwonyx, though, just a fantastic answer with Guardian of Kings. We talked about the importance of the 5/6 body. It's very much illustrated right here.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at the curve he has. Like, look at the cards that are going to be coming out. I mean, yeah, he sets up the ping, so there's the trade, but the fact of the matter is, he could just drop Tyrion and go face. He could, continue to clear. He has a Muster Quartermaster turn where he can clear. I mean, there's
even picks up Bulvar 4 Dragon, so that's a 1/7 that's in his hand right now.
Wow. Make it a 2/7. Make it a 2/7. That's the clear play now.
Wow, Golden Tyrion's going to put his faith in the light. RDU picks up Spider Tank. He has no direct answer to this Tyrion this turn. This is a nightmare. I got to know what this trap is.
I think he's got to trade in Scientist. He's going to have to see what the trap he gets. I mean, but maybe not. He's just going to freeze it up, I guess, and hope for another answer. He's going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what trap it is. Definitely important to know. It is going to be Mere Entity. Okay.
Wow. Darkwonyx can just give his opponent a zombie chow if he wants.
Yeah. I might just be giving him a Quartermaster. Yep.
Oh, that's a little bit... I think he expects Mere Entity to come out here.
No.
Oh, and he gets the bad news. He's going to play zombie chow anyway. That's an important sequencing error, I think, on Darkwonyx's side. Playing a little bit too quickly. This is something else we've seen so far this tournament. Is all of these players are playing so fast, and when you're in a format where people are kind of playing new stuff, and especially against a Mage Secret, it's so important to test for that early on. So I'm a little bit disappointed that he chose to do it this way instead of seeing what was happening first. Like if he played this zombie chow first, he would be so far out of reach of his opponent. It would just be like unreasonable how far he is. But even still, despite that, he's still very far ahead on the board. RDU going to be able to get in a few points of damage here, but at what cost? He's got to lose this Quartermaster. His opponent's down to 13. He's got an Ashbringer. He's actually going to start trying to clear the board. I don't think this is recoverable for RDU though.
No, neither do I. I don't see what sequence of cards he really draws that start to come back here. I mean, Bulvar is pretty darn good here too, and I mean he even has the ability to actually just clear out the Yeti. I mean, this is rough, man.
Just gonna silence just to keep the cog out of RDU's hand. And he picks up Seal of Light. Seal of Light heals for 4, but Whale of Light heals for 8.
What?
Seal of Light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whale of Light heals for 8, man.
Okay. I'm just. Yeah. Okay. I get it now, but I'm just. It took me a minute because I'm like, is there actually is there a card I'm missing? And he's just like, is this that bad of a joke, or is there something I'm missing here?
That's the flavor text on the card.
Yeah. I give you the benefit of the doubt, but no, it was just that bad of a joke. So.
This
Either
is
way,
just
man.
damage to RDU's face. There is just no way he's recovering from this board position. Bolvar Fist Ogre has hit the board. It is a 6-7. RDU's going to go up to. I'm sorry, Darkwonyx is going to go up to 20, and it's just too much at this point. I mean, he needs Deathwing.
Yeah, certainly.
I don't even think Deathwing could win this game right now.
No, neither do I actually.
And that means Dr.
Deathwing-
Boom's. Dr. Boom's certainly not going to win it. Darkwonyx is going to take a 2-1 lead now over RDU. These aggressive decks, man, it's just happened, but we have not seen it yet.
No, we certainly haven't. And I just feel like, I mean, the two most the three most prevalent decks you're seeing for sure are Paladin, Warrior, Warlock. And the control versions, I guess you can't really call the Paladin version control, but all these decks have gained strong new ways to fight against Zoo. I mean, Muster for Battle, Quartermaster, Coghammer, Piloted Shredder. These are all answers that the Paladin deck has that are very good at fighting for the board against Zoo. And when you look at Control Warrior, you have things like Shieldmate that really helps keep you alive, helps you fight for the board. You have Ancient Healbot in Handlock, things like that have really made a big difference. So all of these decks have really kind of gotten strong new ways to help them fight against Zoo, and it hasn't really seemed like Zoo got much of anything. It's still kind of the same old Zoo.
Yeah, Zoo picked up Implosion, I think, but that was something I feel like was necessary to fight against the Soulfire change. Backspace, he did have a little bit of success with Zoo so far, but again, we haven't been seeing these strategies really refined and being perfected. So, and especially with how much Zombie Chow is being played right now, you got to believe that control decks and mid range decks are just strictly stronger than the aggro decks are right now until someone puts together those pieces.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, someone may be able to come up with some brilliant deck, and it may be back to cursing Zoo every game on ladder again. Who knows, man?
That's the world I want to live in. Where I'm always angry when someone's ended the game by turn 7.
Yeah.
I want to play Hearthstone for way longer than that. And the amount of time that I play Hearthstone isn't changed by how much time I can dedicate to playing Hearthstone. It's only affected by duration of the game.
Same. Well, it's looking like, wow. I was thinking he was actually just going to draw, but I guess he wants to save it for higher value weapon.
Yep. He's going to go ahead and play this Archmage without the spell power. I feel like Bolvar just takes the form of bad Hearthstone cards that can't get used, but his mana curve is right on point, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't play the Harrison here because of the Pilot Shredder for sure.
Yeah.
So 4-7, way worse than 5-7 in this spot.
Certainly.
But still a lot of fighting to be done here.
Kind of a rough turn. I mean, you can consecrate. That's not that nice. I mean, the thing is, if you Sludge Belcher, then it's going to be Sludge Belcher.
Too. I mean, I think all of his plays are pretty poor at this point, and Consecration, I think it's certainly one of the worst of his plays right now.
I mean, the rough part is it's you attack in, and then the Belcher's just going to attack into your Belcher, and then 1/1 and the 1/1 weapon, if you wanted to. I mean, you can do it that way and easily take that all out. It's it just gives him such a free trade. It just kind of sucks. But
I really don't mind silencing or True Silver or any of these options here too. RDU, this is something else that we've seen a lot. Is the player who has more options is usually the player who has a big advantage.
Yeah, certainly.
And I don't think this is any exception to that.
I would definitely agree.
Just going to trade it in here, and then you're going to see Archmage, or what was once Archmage, bite the dust. Direwolf Alpha gets picked up.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely would have been cleaner play to use the Owl this turn, but then, why do it? You may as well wait for speak of the devil, Tyrion come down, right? That's something that if you don't have a silence for him, it's just such a devastating card. So it's
Tyrion
like,
or Sylvanas too.
yeah, certainly. So I mean, it's just one of those things that he could have had a cleaner turn that turn, but he's able to clean it up in a way that was totally fine. So there was just no need to use it.
Again, really short on options here though, as Darkwonyx is going to have to go with Consecrate here. And I think this is a much better Consecrate than the last one was, but I still don't think he's very happy with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's one of those things. It's like, once again, like just like you were saying, the person who has more options and stuff is really the person who's kind of coming out ahead in these games, and it's going to be muster for battle. And I mean, I've got to think it's going to be muster for battle set up for an amazing quartermaster turn next turn.
Yeah, especially if he misses the True Silver token. Something else he's thinking about though is a second Consecration. He just saw one, so I think he feels a lot safer using Muster for battle. But does he need to use it this turn? I don't think he does. I think he's safe just waiting and making sure that he gets all the value off of Quartermaster that he can. Darkwonyx thanking him for using the True Silver Champion on a 1/1 token. And so options back over to Darkwonyx's side of the board now. But the other thing too is if he Muster for battles this turn, he's got to worry about Harrison Jones.
Yeah.
So that's something that he doesn't want to have happen, and he's already seen Seal of Light too. So there's potential for something like exactly what Darkwonyx has, which is Seal of Light and then Harrison Jones, and that would I think that would have swung the game way out of favor for RDU at this point. I still think it's slightly in favor of RDU, but he's got to tread lightly because if he plays into the wrong cards, he's going to lose the game.
Yeah, certainly it's tough. I mean. Yeah, it's probably still slightly in the favor of RDU, like you said, but Darkwonyx has a very strong hand. I mean, Tyrion can come down next turn. This is going to be a big turn for him, though. He's going to be able to muster Quartermaster, but
he's going to have to silence
does he Owl? Okay, so he is going to decide to Owl. So, I'm not sure he's actually going to do it then. Yeah, it's going to be Coghammer. Okay.
Yep, he's going to continue to save Muster for battle for this Quartermaster basically as long as he can.
Do you think he kills this, or do you think he just ignores?
I think at this point, I mean, I gotta imagine he's going to ignore it. This has just sort of been the flavor for RDU is to continue to push damage over and over again. But the question here is if he attacks his Sylvanas or if he attacks face. And I imagine he's going to attack face here. Just consistent with his game plan. So Darkwonyx, he's got to fight through a 2/1 shielded, taunted Iron Beagle right now. It picks up Wild Pyromancer though.
Could Wild Pyro, Seal of Light, something like that. I don't know.
He could Wild Pyro Muster for battle.
It's certainly something he could do.
He could lose all of his tokens and make a 1/4 weapon. Yeah, Seal of Light for sure. But this makes a lot more sense of why Seal of Light's in here, by the way, is for something exactly like this. So really nice board clear here. Pays the extra life to keep his Sylvanas alive. I really like that a lot. Gets his extra token on the board, and suddenly you're looking at the board slowly swinging in favor of Darkwonyx. Favoring a control style, really paying off for him deep into these games.
Yeah, it certainly has. And I mean, he's even being forced to clear out that Wild Pyro and leave a 5/1 minion on the board because he's scared of additional clear from it. With those spells, if there's an equality in there, that would mean his board is wiped. So he kind of has to do a less ideal trade.
Yep, and this Harrison Jones is certainly coming out this turn. I mean, it is tough to pass up 4 card draws.
I think it's Muster Quartermaster, perhaps. I mean, who knows?
You think so? Man,
I think it may. I mean, I just don't think what does he need to draw?
I guess you're right. I mean, he's just gonna try to fight through this board position and again continue to maintain control and hope that it goes for the best. He does risk his opponent's Harrison Jones at this point, but with only 3 cards in the hand, I think maybe you're just safe doing that. So Darkwonyx is going to dip a little bit lower here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good play because I just think he's saying, I already have the card advantage. I need to fight for the board, and I think in this case he's right.
Yeah, I mean, I like the position looking at it.
Gosh, I'd like to see this Sylvanas
card draws though. 4 card draws.
And I'm always there with you, man. I'm always right there with you, but this time, not this time.
That's all I want to do is draw cards.
Oh, how do you feel about that versus Sylvanas and taunting it up?
I think this is fine. This is so very certain to force answers from your opponent should they have them.
Yeah, certainly.
You're doing a lot of work to fight against this board position. I mean, just look at how does Darkwonyx go forward from here?
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, maybe equality is the answer to that, but you know, it's not. This is not a clean answer if this is what he chooses to go with. I mean, I gotta believe he's Harrison Jonesing this turn. Whoa!
Wow.
Oh gosh, man, I don't know about that. That's a tough position to be in. He's gonna dip again, continue to go lower on life. I mean, if he's doing this, this has got to be like Tyrion, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
just gonna put his faith in the light. RDU has got Sylvanas in hand, though. He's
Oh,
waiting
and
patiently
Aldor,
for this
too.
moment. He's got Aldor for the Tyrion, but I don't know if he's gonna Aldor this straight away. I think he's gonna try to steal this. I think he's gonna try to steal this Tyrion.
Sure, yeah, certainly could.
The Sylvanas and get us another 6-power minion on the board. Darkwonyx, though, wow,
But
he
can just
chose not
Aldor
to,
that.
yeah, he chose not to attack with the Light Justice here to peel off the shield either, because RDU again, he just wants like such a favorable swing with his Sylvanas, but that belongs in a museum. I don't know if Light's Justice actually does or not. I personally wouldn't put it in my museum. He's even got Avenging Wrath in this deck. We talked about how this hasn't been in decks before.
Yeah, I was like, that's not in the deck. Come on. There's no way. But yeah, there it is. And it's certainly going to be the Sylvanas Aldor Peacekeeper up because he does not want to get that stolen. What?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What?
Yeah.
Follow the rules.
Wow.
Excuse me?
He actually, you know, when he's doing this, he wants more damage to be put on his Tyrion, so when it gets stolen, it's easier dealt with. Or if it gets stolen, he wants it to be easier to be dealt with.
Okay.
Wow, so he's gonna trade the shield in.
My
Oh
God.
my gosh!
Wow.
That is a huge turn of event. Look at these. Look at the emotes getting spammed here.
Could not
Wow,
be happy about that, man.
that is a crushing blow to RDU right now. I think with that Sylvanas roll, I think Darkwonyx has sealed up this match.
I would agree. I mean, look at his
This
hands.
is so much
He can
he's got.
lay on hands. He can lay on hands next turn. You know, it's like, how do you ever get through this? I mean, he's just got to fill up his board. But, I mean, you know, you can just draw. He can simply lay on hands here if he wanted, or you can just drop the Avenging Wrath. I mean, God, he just has so many options right now.
Everything is in favor of Darkwonyx at the moment. He's got Harrison to challenge the Sludge Belcher. He's got a Tyrion on the board to sit behind to threaten giving him a weapon should his opponent even choose to kill it. Eventually, he's going to have to. And it's like you said, he can just heal back up to 19 HP. He picks up 3 more cards. I don't see the recovery here.
Neither do I. I don't think there is one. I mean, if you heal here, you're at 19. You have a full hand against your opponent who has 1 card in his hand and the same life total with like a worse board. I mean,
I want to petition to change lay on hands to drop the mic. That's what I want to do.
yeah.
Dude Slayer Tyrion going to continue to pick away at this board. Consecration's not what he needed. It can help deal with his board position, but again, he's giving his opponent a 5/3 weapon in this spot. Darkwonyx is still at a very healthy life total, and he's got so many options to play with.
Yeah,
and RDU's got 2 tokens and a big game hunter.
I mean, the life total isn't even the problem. It's just look at the hands. It's a big game hunter versus like an 8-card hand. I mean, it's just gross. I mean, I you can do whatever you want. I mean, Dr. Boom,
Just
healing.
close your eyes and click cards.
Yeah, there's really no wrong option. I mean, I guess the only option, I mean, there's, you know, maybe you don't want to click those left 2 cards in your hand, but everything else is okay.
Coalmaster gets picked up, though. Actually, a little bit extra juice here now for RDU. Greenskin's certainly not what he wanted. Knife Juggler's not going to be enough.
Let's see if we can juggle that 2-1.
I think this game is just swung out of control. Darkwonyx is, I mean, he is prime position to 3-0 with this Paladin deck so far. Misses the juggle even. And once again, just a crushing position for Darkwonyx. He has a stranglehold on this game. And he's just going to go straight
musters.
for face.
Oh, wow,
Yep.
okay.
He's just going to go ahead and use the Avenging Wrath. He's just rubbing it in at this point almost.
Yeah, I think this is the concede turn. I think either way he would have conceded, but I mean he could have just mustered and quartermaster and he would have left. But I think he's going to leave anyway, so I don't think it matters. And that is going to do it. That is going to be that. And wow, Darkwonyx. I mean, really, the Paladin's just looking so damn strong, man. It really just is. It's like the holy trinity of decks right now. I mean, Druid is doing some work. You know, Druid's definitely not doing bad. Druid is, you know, is stealing wins from people and sometimes doing